get right into it. We're here to talk a bit about the mental side of football and how that's affected your career over the years. Thinking back, is there a level of play or age where you look back on and where the mental side of football really started to click for you? You started to really realize how important it was?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Probably the first thing that comes to mind when understanding that it wasn't just about just playing to play. It was deeper than that. Probably was, I'd say, sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
That's when it hit hard and hit home in terms of understanding the mental side and understanding the game more, because it was less of talent and everybody was good, and it was less of just being talented and more of understanding consistent hard work, understanding being self-disciplined mentally to go and be repetitive at doing something so you can be the best at it.
Yeah. When you get to that level, I mean, everyone can play ball. That's why they're there. But it's the mental side of it that separates, the great from the good.
Exactly.
Was there anything mentally you were struggling with at the moment, whether it was pressure or confidence or whatever? Or was it just, you just kind of had a realization of how much it was helping you play?
I think it was just realizing the difference in play, consistent play. I say my freshman year as a starter, I'd have a really good game, and then I'd have a game where I was hit or miss. I'd hit, but then I'd miss some things that I need to make. And then I got with a guy who was an alma mater of my school, George Whitfield. Going out there, being around pros early on in my career, being around top-notch pros. I'm speaking of, the Cameron Newtons, the Johnny Manziels, the Andrew Lucks, all the premier guys, and then competing with and against guys of my class that went to bigger schools, the Davis Webbs, Josh Dobbs, and a number of guys, Dane Evans. But being around a group of guys, and I'm the only D2 guy, it set a standard that made me understand that you can't just go throw 2 good balls and then 3 bad ones, or 2 good ones and 1 bad one on things that need to happen consistently. That right there took my game to the next level in understanding guys depend on you to be there and be present, not just there, but present day in and day out consistently.
I think that's true for any position on the football team, but for a quarterback, it's magnified so much more because all the spotlight's on you, right?
Exactly.
Do you feel that at all in at your time at college, the spotlight on you and having to deal with that?
I think in college, maybe not in terms of like just the spotlight on me and pressure from a spotlight. Mm-hmm. I think I didn't really feel too much of that. I don't know if it's just my personality, but I don't think I let the bright lights or any of that stuff kind of affect me, mainly probably because I don't pay attention to it a lot. So like during game weeks and stuff like that, I'm not really on social media heavy to even buy into what someone may say.
Yeah.
So I think that might play a big part. So I don't think it necessarily touched me home like that.
Yeah. That whole blocking off social media is so huge. I mean, you see the most famous case is LeBron James, where before the playoffs, he just turns off his phone completely. He's not even going to tempt himself to do that. And I feel like it's such a huge issue nowadays with how big Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all this stuff is for the kids out there that are, between 13 and 18, they live on social media and, they get that one bad comment. It can really ruin their day. And I always tell the kids, man, you got to think long-term in this. Get rid of that short-term gain of social media, but think long-term how much it's going to help you to get away from all that stuff when it's appropriate. It still has its place and everything, but.
Oh, yeah.
You said it, I read one of your interviews that playing at D2 humbled you. What exactly did you mean by that? Maybe speak a bit about more of how you developed, not only as a player, but as a person in general through your time there at D2.
For sure. How can I say it the best way possible? So playing at the Division II level, right? So a lot of guys might look down upon the Division II level, right? Because, you're not on TV every weekend. and everybody doesn't go play at the next level. You may get 1-2 guys off of a team to go to the next level. But you got to understand that probably, I can't give you a percent, but a lot of guys played at the Division I level at some point, or was a bounce back, or didn't qualify to go Division I. Some just slipped through the cracks. So the guys that you see on the field at the Division II level, a lot of them have Division I talent. But unfortunately, everybody doesn't go D1.
Yeah.
The only difference is in D1, you may have 8, 9, 5-star receivers. You got 4 or 5 on the field. And then, his backup is a 5-star. In Division II, it doesn't go that deep. So your first realm of guys, those are your guys. You go into battle with these guys. And understanding that humbled me to understand that the guys that you're going out here to compete against and compete with, do not frown down upon any of this talent out here, because you'll get exposed, and you'll get exposed quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think for a lot of kids that play D2, they may get a bit jealous of the other ones playing D1. What kind of advice would you give people that are in a situation where they're playing a D2 level sport and they're looking up, they're getting jealous of all the TV time, the media hype, and the fans that everyone at D1 is getting?
Biggest thing there is, if you think that is what matters, then you probably lost the battle already. Biggest thing for me was, I didn't care that I still went on Saturdays after my game, or, a Friday night college game, a Thursday night college game. And I still watched those big games and still had guys that I liked. But you become the shocker. So no matter where you are, if you get an opportunity somewhere, a camp, a camp tryout, anything, playing a big time school, no one has seen you. So you have the wow factor. So in that term, I looked at it like at Ohio State Pro Day. We've got every single team here, even at the Senior Bowl. Every single team is here. So they've seen 90% of these guys at their best, right? They've never seen me. Well, some of you may have, most of you probably have not. So I have the wow factor right now to be my best consistently. And you look at it every year in the draft, something happens. Somebody goes in the draft way, way, way higher than anybody ever thought they would, all off of one day.
Yeah. I like how you mentioned how if the media and the fans and everything is what you care about, you already lost. I read a book recently called The Champion's Mindset, and they talk about internal versus external motivation. And they say athletes that are internally motivated, they play their sport because they genuinely love to play and they enjoy it. They're going to go a lot farther and going to last a lot longer than the athletes that are there for external motivation, whether it's money, fame, fans, whatever it is, right? So it rings true. If you're in D2 or whatever level of sport you're playing, you're getting jealous of somebody because of the attention and hype they're getting, you're probably not in it for the right reasons.
Exactly.
You mentioned playing in the Senior Bowl, and that's got to be a pretty crazy experience for you. Walk me through your mindset leading up to it. Did you feel, I know you talk a bit about how you have that chip on your shoulder, maybe a bit of underdog mentality. How much did that kind of play a role in that game there, and just what were your just general thoughts behind it?
The game probably wasn't even my best game, to be honest. Well, no, it wasn't my best game. The game, probably because I was thinking too much about when I was going to play. I thought I would get in a lot earlier than I was trying to do too much there late in the game. But the week of practice, I stood out. I just wanted to go out there and be me. I didn't want to go out there, going into the draft. You had a lot of questions of, can you switch positions? Not from coaches, but this is from, the media side of things, and he might switch positions, or he looks too strong, he looks like a safety, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I just wanted to go out there and be me. I was, I believe, the 3rd Division II quarterback ever selected to play in the Senior Bowl. And I don't think the other 2 guys got there by trying to be somebody else.
No.
So for me, I just wanted to go out there and be me. They called plays for me to run the ball, I'm going to run the ball. When they call plays for me to pass, I'm going to go out here to be the best passer I can be.
I think that's a huge, important lesson for people to just be who you are. No matter if it's sports or outside of sports, there's always that pressure from other people, maybe outside of your inner circle, maybe in your inner circle as well, that try to tell you to be something you're not. But you got to listen to yourself, and you kind of got to be a bit selfish as well and put your needs in front of what other people want you to do, kind of thing, right? Because you know who you are the best.
Yep.
The draft didn't obviously go as planned for you, going undrafted. How did you pick yourself back up after that? Because I think for a lot of people, when they go through something like that, they may quit or they may feel like they're not good enough, but you kept going and you've made it to, a pretty successful pro career so far. So the moment after the draft happened, walk me through that.
So after the draft was over, of course I didn't get drafted, but then my phone started to ring, and probably like 10 minutes before the draft was over. Mm-hmm. From a few different teams, between my agent and some teams, just being on the phone with them, just kind of reassured me, like I didn't have much downtime to think like, okay, I'm done with football. But even during the whole draft, like not hearing my name or anything like that, I still didn't think I would be done. I always had a feeling like that my God didn't bring me this far to let me down.
Right.
And I knew I'd go somewhere. I didn't know where, but I knew I'd go somewhere. And from there, all you got to do is put your best foot forward.
Yeah. You ended up coming to CFL up here in Canada. When did the CFL become a real option for you?
Probably about, probably about 2-3 weeks after I got released from Arizona.
Yeah. Was there any hesitation coming up? Because, I mean, it's one thing as an American athlete to travel around America and be around from home and playing football. It's another thing to go to a completely different country. Even though Canada, I mean, we're pretty close to the States, it's still a different country, right? Did that ever kind of play a role in any sort of hesitation of coming up north, or were you just, I'm going to go play football?
For me, it was just go play football. The only hesitation I'd say that I had initially going up was I was talking to when my agent was speaking with the Jets before I signed up to Montreal. So that probably been the only hesitation was, do I try to wait to see what the Jets say, or do I just go with an opportunity? And what I did was I just prayed on it and I went with the opportunity.
Was there anything football-wise that was different that you noticed between the CFL and the NFL?
The field was significantly larger. So initially when I first showed up, there was a game, I think 2 days after I got there. I walked out and it was the atmosphere was incredible. And I walked out there, I'm like, Jesus, this field is really big. And in my mind, I just used to always think like, when I get the opportunity to play, if I get the chance to run, I think I'll be able to break some big runs on this big field. Like, but then you understand, like, everybody out here is fast, and these guys are smart. Football is a lot of angles, so you don't really outrun people at the professional level.
Right. Yeah. Your time in Montreal, I think it was 2 years ago, you guys had a pretty crowded QB room. You guys had VA, Drew Willie, Johnny Manziel. You guys had a lot of good quarterbacks there. Being part of that quarterback room, I mean, I guess from an outside perspective, for me, it's I'm always interested to hear people's mindset, because part of you, of course, you want to be competitive and you want to be the number one starting quarterback, right? But the other part of you want to be a team player. And you don't want to like cause any sort of controversy as well in the locker room. Like you want to respect the coach's decision. So just walk me through, I guess, a bit about your mentality, your mindset when you have such a crowded QB room, and how you kind of, I mean, you still want the best decision for yourself, but you don't want to have an inflated ego as well, where it kind of hurts the team.
Right. It would definitely be maximize your opportunity, no matter when it was, however many reps it was. Like you said, in that crowded QB room, especially for myself, I didn't get any reps in terms of offensive reps at all. Like if you weren't playing or the two, you weren't getting any of those reps. And the two got, just a handful. So I had to maximize whatever I could do in the drill work and in the scout team reps. And then, with the crowded QB room, the scout team reps are now limited as well. So for me, you got to understand maximizing your opportunities on the field, but never be a cancer. And I think for me, the biggest thing is my personality doesn't allow me to wish bad upon someone else for my own personal success. Like, I don't want you to go out here and mess up consistently or be terrible in order for me to get my chance. That's not how I work.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if it's just me, but that's just not how I work.
Yeah. It's almost like it wouldn't feel right if you're like wishing that upon somebody. You want to earn it. You don't want it to be kind of it handed to you per se, right? And it feel that much better as you earn more and more things.
Right.
It obviously, I mean, this whole mentality stuff paid off for you, because the beginning of last year, I know you were named the starter there in Montreal, but then you got hit with the injury bug a bit. Walk me through just your mentality around that injury, because myself, injuries is something I really struggle with. When I have to sit on a sideline, I can't play the sport that I love, I absolutely go crazy in my house. I want to just, do nothing more than get back on the field or the hockey rink, whatever the sport is.
Yeah. So, I mean, probably the last thing I would have expected to happen, especially in week one, was getting hurt, and then being hurt as long as I was hurt. Definitely put a damper on what I had planned for the season as far as personally and for the team. Now, the team we still accomplished a lot, which was great. And I was still a part of that. But I wasn't able to contribute the way I wanted to contribute in terms of playing. But for me, the biggest thing was, once I couldn't go onto the field, was never be a cancer, continue to be a leader, and always be a great teammate. I think I learned some of those things from college with these guys named Jamie Slife from these military branch program. It's called The Program. They're a leadership-based program, and they train you how to be a good teammate and a good leader. And I just kind of take those things with me through life, not just football, but through life. And I think that's kind of what just kept my boat from sinking. You know what I mean? It had some ups and downs, but my boat never sank.
It's crazy, like you mentioned, how much overlap there is between sports and personal life. A lot of the lessons you learn in sports, they help you in your personal life as well, whether it's like playing with confidence or problem solving, being a good teammate. Those are all skills you take into your personal life. And I always recommend to kids, play as many sports as you can, because there's so many lessons that you learn playing sports, especially at a young age, that you can't get in other aspects of life.
Oh yeah. The lessons that overlap between football and life are crazy. And then the more you grow, the older you become, the more mature you become. That's when you really realize that, man, what I learned in Pee Wee football applies to this situation right now.
Yeah. And it goes to show how important coaches are as well, because coaches are your mentors, right? I think some people, they don't have a true appreciation of how much coaches mean to players, and just the life lessons you learn from coaches. I mean, I know you've been around a lot of great coaches in your career so far, and just the life lessons. I mean, even me thinking back myself, just playing something like house league hockey, the lessons I learned in house league hockey would still stick with me today.
For sure, 100%. Even all my coaches, I still keep in contact with them. College, high school, those guys are like family to me for sure.
Yeah. Listen, man, I got a collection of about 10 pretty cool football mental quotes in front of me. I'll let you pick a number between 1 and 10. I'll read you the quote, and then reflect on the quote a bit. Tell me what it means to you and how it, maybe applies to your career.
2 for sure.
2. This is from Vince Lombardi, of course, legendary Packers coach. He said, "Winning is not everything, but making the effort to win is."
I think first thing that came in my head was, do you like to win or do you hate to lose? Understanding that the guy who hates to lose, he'll do everything he can to prevent that. The guy who enjoys winning, he's all right if he loses a few.
Yeah.
He just doesn't prepare the same. Like, yeah, I like winning. But do you hate the feeling you get when you lose? And can you use that to build you more and more? Winning isn't What do you say? Winning isn't everything, but the effort to win is. That's the preparation that I speak about with hating to lose.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
I assume you hate to lose more than you like to win.
100%.
Is there a game that sticks out that still stings to you that you lost that you think about? Do you think about now and then?
Right now?
Yeah. Throughout your career, is there one game that sticks out that one loss that still stings, or?
Yeah, actually 2. As you said, that 2 come to mind. In Ottawa this past year in overtime, where I came back in the game. That was my first game back, and Vernon went out with a concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And then BC, fumble snap on the goal line.
Yeah. It's I feel like you or any athlete going through those adversity, you being able to overcome it is how you grow as a player, right? Like you being able to get past that and still come to work the next day. That's that true champion's mindset I think athletes need. And we talked about, everyone at the physical, at the pro level has that physical, ability. It's the mental ability that separates the great from the good. You need that mental ability to get over those tough losses and push yourself further.
Yeah, 100%.
You got another number between 1 and 10? We'll do another quote here.
7.
This one is from Bum Phillips. He's used to be a Houston Oilers coach, I think in the 70s or 80s. But he said, football players, they fail all the time, but you aren't a failure until you start blaming someone else.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability. Guy who can figure out what he can do to better a situation before he blames someone else. That's a guy I'm going to ride with every time.
Yeah. It really speaks to me about how important that team chemistry is. You see it all the time. I mean, in the CFL, for example, I'm from Hamilton, so I was pretty familiar with the Ticats this past year. It says franchise record in wins. Pretty sure they're first place in the league, or at least first place in the East. They go to the Grey Cup and they lose, right? It's never always the best team on paper that wins. There's so much more to it, and you see it all the time in sports. That team chemistry is what propels the team to a championship. You can't be blaming other people.
100%.
Let's do one more before we wrap up here. You got another number between 1 and 10?
5.
This one is from Joe Namath, of course, legendary Jets QB. He said, if you're not going to go all the way, why go at all?
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think that's big in today's young pups coming up. The guy who, wants to post his workout for 5 minutes every time he goes to the gym, and he posts it once a week. Don't go to the gym if you're not about to be there for the right reason. Half the battle is going. So if you're going to go, you might as well focus, lock in, and get the right work in.
Yeah.
If you're going to commit, you might as well commit. Don't halfway commit. If you're going to, I like this. My pastor actually says this before. Every time you think about this exact situation, so like if you're not going to go all the way or go all in, why go at all? What if God just dropped you out of nowhere? God brought you so far and was like, all right, this is good enough. You figure it out. We'd be lost. So why do we repay him with halfway efforts? If I'm going to go, I got to go. And I'll figure out what happens on the other side.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I always think about when I train for sports, I always think there's somebody out there training harder than me. I'm not going to let him or her do that. I'm always going to empty my tank every workout, every drill, every film study session. I'm always emptying the tank, because if you don't, there's going to be somebody working harder than you. And I can't stand when somebody's working harder than me, because I know I'm losing and they're winning, and I hate to lose, just like you.
There you go. And they say, what'd you say there? You say somebody else is out there working. I always say, shoot, in the middle of the workout, if it's hurting, cool with me.
Yeah.
I mean, if it don't kill me, I'll make it out. So if I die, then I died the way I wanted to. Oh well.
Die and playing the sport you love.
Yeah. Oh well.
Listen, that's beautiful, man. Before we wrap up, I got a couple rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Being from the States and playing some football in Canada, is there one food in Canada that really touches close to your heart that you've been enjoying so far?
Man, one food in particular, or can I give you a restaurant?
You can give me a restaurant. That's cool.
Field Diner Bar,
Okay.
Montreal.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
That's your late night snack there, eh?
That's it right there.
What's your favorite jersey in the CFL? Can't be Montreal and can't be Edmonton because I know you just signed with them. Besides those two, you got a favorite? You got?
I was definitely going with the Eskimos.
You got a favorite jersey in the CFL?
I don't know. let me see. I mean, I think no, can't say them because I don't know. I just don't like those colors. The black and yellow in Hamilton is dope.
Yeah, I like those. I'm from Hamilton, so that I definitely agree with that.
I didn't say that because you were from Hamilton either.
Yeah.
I guess it got me a couple brownie points, but yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You got a nice little repertoire drip you can put on that.
For sure. The black goes with everything, goes on any outfit.
Yeah.
What's we've been in quarantine for quite a while right now. What's one show you've been binge watching?
And I watched 85 South Show a lot.
Yeah.
85 South Show, DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, Carlos Miller, 85 South Show.
Nice. What's what are some artists you're rocking with right now?
Right now, that Dirt Polo G. Future new album is hitting a little bit, but that Polo G I'm going with right now. Polo G and Dirt.
Yeah. I haven't checked the Future album. I gotta check it out probably after this. Actually, I saw it came out the other day.
Yeah.
I've been rocking with Nav lately. His album came out the other day, and of course, anytime Drake puts out a new tape, that's on repeat no matter what.
Gotta spin that.
Last question here. Another CFL question. What's the best away environment you've been in?
Best away environment?
Yeah.
It's probably Edmonton.
Yeah. I know you can say you haven't played there as a home team yet, so it still counts as away.
It was away.
Yeah.
Just between Edmonton and Ottawa. Those environments are pretty nice.
The CFL, I mean, obviously in the U.S., not a lot of people have a lot of understanding of the CFL. But myself being at a bunch of CFL games and watching it on TV and stuff, like the crowds are no joke. Like it gets pretty rowdy there, and you can really tell that there's a passion for it in Canada, this Canadian Football League, and especially out west when you go to Edmonton or Saskatchewan or even Ottawa where they don't have that many pro teams. It's crazy the atmosphere they can get.
Oh yeah, it's sick. I never thought that the stadiums would look the way they look and pack the way they pack before I came up here. And you come up here and you find out it's the real deal.
Yeah, it's no joke. Listen, man, appreciate you taking some time today. I, again, hope that you, your family, and all your friends kind of staying safe through this whole coronavirus thing. And I know the CFL season is a bit up in the air, but hopefully they get that all sorted out soon and we can see you back in the field sooner rather than later.
For sure. I hope it's figured out as well. Staying prayerful, staying prepared.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man.
All right, boss. Thanks for having me.
Take care, man.